Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2008 School of Policy, Planning and Development Commencement. I am Carol Rush, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Please rise and welcome the class of 2008. The procession is now entering our venue. The procession is led by flag bearers Matthias Sweldo, our valedictorian, and Greg Woolway, the 2007 President of the Students of Policy, Planning and Development, the Undergraduate Student Association. Following the flag bearers will be the faculty, led by Dean Jack Knott, the faculty leadership, and our commencement speakers, Senior Associate Dean Elizabeth Grady, Senior Associate Dean Genevieve Giuliano, the Director of the Undergraduate Program, Richard Sundin, and commencement speaker, Robert Hertzberg, and the Alumni Association representative, Reggie Jones-Sawyer. Now entering the venue are the graduates. This morning, we will celebrate the accomplishments of approximately 100 students who've completed the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning.
On behalf of the USC School of Policy, Planning and Development, I welcome each and every one of you to our graduation ceremony for the class of 2008. My name is Jack Knott. I am the Irwin and Ione Piper Dean and Professor at the USC School of Policy, Planning and Development. First, I want to offer my hearty congratulations to the graduating class of 2008. Would you please be seated? It is my great pleasure to be here with you on this momentous occasion and to celebrate this important milestone. I would like to thank each of you, parents, friends, relatives, and students, for joining us today, especially those of you who have traveled a long way to be here. I especially want to thank the families who've provided the financial and other support for our students. Your support is deeply, deeply appreciated. So let's begin by having all the parents and family members rise, and let's give them a round of applause. I also want to thank the faculty and the staff who have worked hard and dedicated themselves to providing you with the best education in the world. Please join me, and would the faculty and staff please stand? Please join me in thanking the faculty and staff of the school. Also, a number of students at SPPD, including several graduates, come from China. In the wake of the devastating earthquake there, we would like to show our support for all those affected. We also think of the devastation and tragedy of the cyclone in Myanmar. Please join us in taking a moment of silence for the victims and for everyone who has endured the trauma and loss at the hands of these tragic disasters. Thank you. I suspect that some of you came to USC to study because of the location. You know, the beautiful beaches, mountains, fabulous sunny weather, LA entertainment, and USC football. Now admit it, those are pretty nice perks of being at USC, but they certainly are not what make USC and SPPD great. So let me start with the more important context. Los Angeles is the capital of the Pacific Rim, a city with a diverse culture, worldwide immigration, a center for real estate and healthcare, a city confronting many of the issues of megacities around the world. In short, it is the perfect context for studying policy planning and development. Second, USC as a university is an amazing place with great music, wonderful theater, and quality of students found only at the best institutions in the world. The opportunity to share and learn from each other is an education in itself. But I would like to just take a few moments to focus on 4 features of education that you have received at our school that make it special. First, I have always felt that the strength of SPPD lies in its ability to make a difference in the world. Our school is dedicated to being relevant, to having a positive impact on the communities and groups that need it most. And our students know, as evidenced through their work, that change cannot be enacted from afar. It must be galvanized on the ground. Our students interact and engage with policymakers, nonprofit managers, real estate developers, urban planners, healthcare leaders, and members of the community. Indeed, many of you have already begun to analyze significant topics. Some of our students this year have won awards for their research projects, focusing on natural disaster response, human trafficking, balancing the needs of diverse communities, urban heat effects in Los Angeles, appropriate topic for today, and affordable housing. Thus, students have actively engaged with the community, not just remaining in the classroom. Many of you have participated in internships, community projects, externships, and networking events. Your class also truly exemplifies one of the most distinctive characteristics of SPPD, and that is our commitment to excellence. Our school is committed to being the very best. SPPD has established an esteemed reputation for being a leader in the academic community in scholarship and research. We consistently rank among the nation's best graduate schools, being ranked again this spring by U.S. News and World Report as number 7 in the nation. We also have a long and distinguished history of public administration, which next year will celebrate its 80th anniversary, the second oldest public administration program in the country. Graduates, I urge you to use your talents and apply your knowledge toward exploring innovative methods of problem solving that will benefit society. And this is the third characteristic of our school, innovation for the future. Our school's mission and multidisciplinary curriculum is innovative. It emphasizes strength of character entrepreneurship, and engagement with the community. Our school has truly emerged as a school for the 21st century, where students are afforded a chance to learn about and study new forms of public management, public-private partnerships, contracts, financial innovations, and collaborative governance across the public, nonprofit, and business sectors. At SPPD, our students learn how to plan for and analyze the longer-term future issues facing society and our urban communities, such as healthcare, urban and real estate development, transportation, infrastructure, and sustainability, and more effective governance that allows our society to better address these kinds of long-term issues. They learn to become innovators, the leaders of tomorrow. Finally, our school is global. We live in an interconnected global world where the professions are becoming global, whether it is real estate, urban planning, or public management. SPPD has a large worldwide alumni network. This past fall, we honored one of our alumni, Mayor Boom Il Kim, mayor of Daegu, the third largest city of Korea. And there are many, many more leaders around the world, just like him, graduates of this school. Our students understand the impact of the world on local communities, and they learn comparative approaches to problem solving and how to apply practices abroad to improve communities at home. Now, your moment has arrived. It is your turn to make an impact on the world, to share your vision of a better future. So I urge you to focus on making a difference for the common good, to address society's most critical problems by developing partnerships across the public, nonprofit, and for-profit sectors, create new healthcare programs to benefit the less fortunate and chronically ill, promote energy and economic development policies that protect the environment, both locally and globally, build organizations that value employees and stakeholders alike, develop residential and commercial real estate that promotes community, a sense of place, and infrastructure for a sustainable future. Work towards more inclusive definitions of community. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." I know that the future belongs to you because I know that you believe in the beauty of your dreams. Graduates, through USC and SPPD, you have had extraordinary opportunities for learning and advancement. You have benefited in myriad ways from the wisdom and generosity of the faculty members who teach in our programs. These individuals, along with SPPD's worldwide network of loyal supporters, including our alumni, recognize the value of our school's interdisciplinary curriculum and emphasis on public-private problem solving, the importance of practical application, and the importance of ethics and strength of character. Our alumni have gone on to make a positive difference in their communities as mayors and city council members, city managers and planners, leaders in nonprofit organizations, industrial and commercial real estate developers and home builders, policy analysts at the state and local level, healthcare managers who run some of the most complex healthcare organizations in the country. Those of us who are here today, to commend your accomplishments as students, hope that you will maintain strong ties to USC and SPPD as you move forward in life as alumni and members of the Trojan family. There will be many occasions to give back to our school and the university through time spent as volunteers and career mentors and as employers who hire future students, through joining the new SPPD Athenian Society, which financially supports the school's annual fund, through attending the annual Alumni Guardian Awards dinner. We look forward to continuing this relationship with you. As new students join our program, they will look to you, the recent alumni, for inspiration and support. The Trojan family is formed through a common background. It grows through the commitment of its members, one to another. This morning, you achieve special status with the Trojan family. You become USC alumni. Congratulations once again. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavors and really look forward to learning of all your future accomplishments. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce today's keynote speaker, Robert Hertzberg, former Speaker of the California State Assembly. Through his career, Mr. Hertzberg has demonstrated the kinds of leadership and innovative problem solving upon which SPPD has earned its acclaimed reputation. He truly represents the entrepreneurial spirit we seek to cultivate and the passion we strive to instill here in our school. Mr. Hertzberg served as Speaker of the California Legislature during the statewide energy crisis. Exhibiting extraordinary insight, he and his team were able to develop the most comprehensive energy conservation standards in the nation, and also made many other pivotal contributions regarding environmental policy. Today, as chairman of G24 Innovations in Cardiff, Wales, and co-founder of Renewable Capital LP, Mr. Hertzberg is widely acknowledged as being a leader and innovator in global policy concerning renewable energy. He is also a partner at Mayer Brown LLP and one of the largest law firms in the country. Mr. Hertzberg has appeared on numerous news shows, including ABC News, Nightline, CBS Evening News, CNN, and BBC. In addition, his work has garnered much well-deserved recognition. He received the Innovation Award in the energy and power sector from the Wall Street Journal. He was selected as one of the 50 people who could save the planet by The Guardian in the UK. The Los Angeles Times named him one of the most influential people in Southern California. And just this past week, his company, G24 Innovations, won the Lighting Africa Award from the World Bank for its renewable energy lighting solutions in rural Africa. Mr. Hertzberg is also a very dedicated and committed supporter of our school and its mission, currently serving on our school's Board of Counselors. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Robert Hertzberg.
Number 7, what does U.S. News and World Report know? Come on, man, they got it wrong. Way wrong. Number 1. All right. We're going to have to fix that. Some of you guys are going to have to go to work in journalism a little bit here. Thanks, Dean. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here to speak to your class of 2008. Man, I'm getting old. The class of 2008. Congratulations, you guys. It's a big deal. And I know that Dean not acknowledged your teachers, but let me tell you, you've got some wonderful people who've worked very hard, not just with respect to what they do for you, but in the larger community. You know, for a fellow who's been around as a policy wonk for so many years, Elizabeth Grady, Professor David Lopez-Lee, who's not here, Dan Masmanian, who was the dean before, Dr. Harry Pachon, Thomas Rivera Center, Rich Sundin, who helped me, Reggie Sawyer is not part of this school, but a great guy, a great supporter of USC. Just wonderful, wonderful people who make a great contribution. Again, just give it up for them, guys, for the faculty. And I just want a couple of points of personal privilege. We used to say that in the legislature. You'd get up in front of the microphone and say, ladies and gentlemen, give me a point of personal privilege. And I ask that for you now. First, to make a special acknowledgement, some of you may have known her, Carol Baker Tharp, who is no longer with us, but with whom I had the opportunity to work over the years and who had just a positive impact on the lives of so many of us. She will be remembered with great fondness. And also, I understand that some of the graduates, some of you guys here today, are the first in your families to receive bachelor's degrees. That is just wonderful. Who's that? Show it to me. All right, that's incredible. Let's give them a special congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. And to your families. Good stuff. Each of you today have chosen to pursue your studies here at the School of Policy, Planning, and Development because you are a unique breed of folks. You're not undergraduates who are trying to find your way to discover the meaning of life, if you will. Today is not a day for inspirational speeches about believing in yourself. You've already made that choice. Your friends and family here today know that about each one of you. You've decided to focus your passion and your skill on challenges facing our collective community. Each of you have a special type of DNA. You are problem solvers. You have chosen to dedicate your lives to helping others to contribute in practical ways to the betterment of our community and the communities here and abroad. You have already worked and made contributions, as I understand, in places from our nation's capital to as far away as Asia, Latin America, Australia, Europe, and Africa. And in that quest, each of you know that you have been prepared, as Dean Knott referred, by the best of the best. You have had the benefits of learning at the Bedrosian Center, the Keston Institute, the Center on Philanthropy, the Center on Health Financing, the Civic Engagement Initiative, the Luss Center, among others. Yesterday, I was in Cardiff, Wales. I have traveled more than 5,000 miles to be here today to deliver the message in the strongest possible terms that the world needs your imagination, your creativity, your energy now more than ever. I came here with a sense of urgency to share the benefits of my experience, insights, and observations from working in Los Angeles, from working in California, and around the world. And as Dean Knott mentioned in his introduction, over the last number of years, I have been working feverishly on issues of renewable energy, climate change, and the many challenges which are associated with these endeavors. My work started in earnest at the turn of this century with the calamity of the California energy crisis. As Speaker of the California State Assembly, it was nothing less than staggering to me how difficult it was to implement the simplest and common sense solutions and policies dealing with conservation, energy efficiency, and renewable energy. The powers of entrenched interests employed every conceivable approach to persuade policymakers of why any change would be bad for California. Now, after leaving government, I felt the only appropriate thing to do was to put my money and my time where my mouth was. So with a couple of enlightened partners, we opened a solar energy factory in South Los Angeles on the corner of Martin Luther King Boulevard East and Alameda, where opportunity met social justice, I would often say. We felt it was the right thing to do, to bring good jobs to the community, and to be the first such renewable energy factory in Los Angeles. This was back in the end of 2002, early 2003. What we learned was that there was a deep gulf between the rhetoric of green policy at that time and the reality of starting a green business to do something about it. It took us nearly 9 months to get power to our factory here in Los Angeles, and on the day, if you can believe this, and on the day that the new solar cell machines were arriving from Germany, 14 truckloads of them coming off the ship, we were told that the city of Los Angeles was discontinuing its celebrated program to support solar roofs. How do you like them apples? No one had done the kind of rigorous homework necessary to fully implement a new and workable public policy that thought through the actual processes to make the policy work. We saw many press releases regarding green aspirations, but virtually none of it was backed up with real, hard policy work, the kinds of work that you do here at the school. So what did we do? We didn't give up on the cause. We went to Europe. We went to a place that respected and understood what we were doing. We went there to start yet another new solar venture because, as I said, the policymakers in Europe and in so many other countries around the world, quite frankly, are just much further evolved in developing green policy. More than 50%, in fact, it's 57%, of the world's solar capacity is sold in Germany because the success of the solar feed-in tariff program adopted by the German parliament, the Bundestag. Brazil has a very successful program with sugarcane biofuel production by virtue of established policy that mandates biofuel for transportation. And India, policymakers have implemented rules that now make India the 4th largest in global wind power. And now, the push to be green in our own country is almost deafening. Last year alone, more than 1,500 laws were introduced in state legislatures on green issues. Just about every Fortune 500 company has a green policy, and our airwaves are filled with CEOs and politicians racing to be the greenest. Clearly, the polls show here in the United States and on a worldwide basis that there are overwhelming interests to go green. But what are the solutions? How do we knit them together in realistic and implementable manner? Do any of these proposed 1,500 laws really reduce carbon in our atmosphere now, today? As I have traveled the world, I have had the opportunity to meet with dozens of influential business leaders, world leaders, and other political leaders from the Far East to the Far West, all of whom are crying out, looking for people, looking for folks who have the skill sets, who can help create real solutions. They have been persuaded, for whatever reason, that there is a need to go green, but don't necessarily understand how to accomplish that objective. And that's where all of you come in. For you, the policymaker, the critical question is, what does it mean to be green? And here is where I want to offer my insights from my time and observations. Although the impact of climate change is compelling, and certainly I believe it to be true, the urgency of going green is grounded on immediate challenges much broader than simply environmental concerns. There are 4 immediate and fundamental challenges we are facing, all of which converge at this time in our history, and all are solved by reducing our dependence on fossil fuel. Here's what I mean by what I say going green. First is economic. As a nation, we are struggling at this time in our history with a way forward to maintain high-wage jobs that offer health insurance and allow us to maintain high and equitable standards of living, all of which have been built on the back of a fossil fuel economy. Every day, we read stories of factories closings and jobs lost to countries with cheap labor. We are a great nation, as Tom Friedman recently observed in his his New York Times column, and we still have the potential for greatness, but only if we get back to work on our country. The dollar is in trouble, in large part because the cost of imported oil. Nearly 20% of our GDP is spent with other nations to supply fossil fuel for our economy. Transformation to a green economy gives us the ability to domesticate our energy GDP. We can put people to work building renewable energy facilities and dramatically reboost our economy and put people to work in good and clean jobs. We are now in a position to create the next New Deal, this time reinventing ourselves with new industries that produce domestic energy for our growing economy. There are great jobs in building sustainable cities. As your classmate, Hermelinda Gomez, where's Hermelinda? There she is. She can tell you as a result of her work here in Los Angeles. And I met earlier Jeffrey Barron. Jeffrey Barron? Where's Jeff? Jeff over here, and his work on transportation and dealing with the ecology. These are the kinds of things and the kinds of work that we need to do to find clear and thoughtful solutions. You're doing it now. You've got to adopt it in the real world, as Dean Knott said. And we have a wonderful opportunity to build our own North American energy community with Canada and Mexico, which will help solve an array of challenges which we face here on this continent. And on an international basis, for those of you who are interested in working internationally, we can continue our tradition, our American tradition of creativity and innovation by exporting clean energy technology to developing nations who can use this renewable energy to grow themselves. 25%, ladies and gentlemen, 25% of the particulate matter here in the air today is from pollution migrating from China. It is a global issue. There is just no reason why we can't sell the Chinese our own homegrown technologies upon which they can build a clean environment. Your training in developing sustainable planning is urgent and critical for communities all around the world, not just here in Los Angeles. In my view, the undercurrent of our presidential election and the energy around Barack Obama is all about hope and finding ways to matter again. We want to do great things and pursue big purposes. Building a green economy will do just that. We can matter again. It's up to you guys. Don't screw it up. Second, those students in the health policy program are fully aware of the horrible consequences to our lives and our children's lives caused by dependence on fossil fuel. How many of your families and friends who live near freeways and who are suffering from asthmatic condition And what is the real cost to those public health impacts? One only needs to study the budgets of the county, the state, and the federal government to understand that transforming our economy to a green economy is much more important on so many fundamental levels. Third is the critical issue of security. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Saddam Hussein's relevance in the world and our motivation to invade Iraq was all about oil. It is also abundantly clear that the financial support for terrorist activity comes from oil dollars. If we lessen our dependence on fossil fuel, there is no doubt that we'll be able to reduce the threat of terrorism. Our current approach is nothing more than the tail wagging the dog. That has got to change. And lastly, of course, is the issue of climate change itself. Every day, we see stories in our news media that contradict even the most conservative predictions of our science community about the horrible impacts and quickening of climate change. Graduates, let me tell you something. We are living in extraordinary and difficult times, and the needed solution requires more than simple citizenship. The challenges and calamities of your generation are of a larger and more complex nature than we have ever seen before. We need to understand that history has presented us with a choice. Each of you, every single one of you, have chosen a career in pursuing the common good. In recent remarks, Al Gore passionately asked, how many generations in human history have had the opportunity to rise to a challenge that is worthy of one's best efforts, to pull from us more than we thought we could do? Each of you leave here today with the best training one could have to pursue this critical challenge. There were no public policy schools at the time of our revolution or at the time of World War II, our last greatest generation. The self-proclaimed politicians and business leaders need you to figure it out. We need you to be the architects of the next greatest generation. The danger of the hype regarding green energy is that the challenge will not be understood for its significance, which is far beyond the climate change challenge. Being green is a way forward to rebuild our economy with good and equitable jobs, provide meaningful improvement in our healthcare system, and making us safer around the world. What does it mean to be green? The incentives, government and private sector programs to convert our fossil fuel nation, that is in your hands and provides the opportunity to each of you to pull from yourself more than you thought you could do in your quest to make our society a better place. Some centuries ago, in 1779, at a different time in our history, when America was furiously engaged in a war of independence, and Abigail Adams was writing to encourage her son to cross the wintry Atlantic for the second time with his father and soon-to-be President John Adams, she wrote, "These are times in which a genius would wish to live. It is not the calm of life or the repose of a Pacific station that great characters are formed. Would Cicero have shown so distinguished an orator if he had not been roused, kindled, and inflamed by the tyranny of Mark Antony? Your lot, my son, is to be an eyewitness of the calamities, and at the same time to owe your existence among a people who have made a glorious defense of their invaded liberties, and who, with the blessings of heaven, will transmit his inheritance to the ages yet unborn. Graduates, the world needs your keen minds, your passion, and your unique DNA. You need to find it within yourselves to solve this crisis and lay the basis for a bright and optimistic human future. Now go out and go to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob, very much for that significant challenge to all of us. I am now pleased to introduce Matthias Sweldo, SPPD's valedictorian. Today, Matthias is receiving the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy Management and Planning with a concentration in Public Management, as well as a Bachelor of Arts in International Relations. Since Matthias entered USC in the fall of 2004, he has excelled in academics and participated in a number of professional development opportunities. He has earned a 3.93 grade point average and will be graduating summa cum laude with university honors. During the spring of 2008, he was selected as a USC Global Scholar, and he was also elected to 2 prestigious honor societies, Phi Beta Kappa and Phi Kappa Phi. While at USC, he has been a research fellow with the USC Center for International Studies and worked on the Near Crisis Project with the center's director, Dr. Patrick James. He presented his paper, Alternative Solutions for Controlling the Proliferation of WMD, at the first annual International Relations Undergraduate Research Conference, which was subsequently published in Perspectives, the USC School of International Relations journal. These studies helped prepare him for the summer of 2006, which he spent in Washington, D.C. with a USC program focused on non-proliferation and weapons of mass destruction. This is only one example of Matthias's commitment to professional development. In April 2008, he served as an electoral indicator specialist with the Organization of American States Electoral Observation Mission to the Paraguayan general elections. During the summer of 2007, he served as an intern in the Department for Electoral Cooperation and Observation of the Secretariat for Political Affairs at the Organization of American States. And in 2006, he served with the same organization as an international observer to the Ecuadorian general elections. He also spent the summer of 2005 working in Johannesburg, South Africa, with the South African Red Cross Society, and he has spent time in Honduras assisting nonprofits to deliver medical services and aid. After graduation, he will pursue the Masters of Public Policy at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University. Everyone makes his choices, where he intends to specialize in international and global affairs. This is a truly remarkable and multi-talented young man. Please welcome Matthias.
I promise I won't talk about Bob. Hello, everyone, faculty and staff, friends, family, parents, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. Good morning. As this day slowly approached, I wrestled with questions that many of you have probably also been thinking about. How did we make it here? What did we do at that time? And of course, their corollaries. Where are we going? What are we facing? What are we going to do with our future time? Will we have housing? Will we have jobs? Will we have any social security left for us? Will we still be at war? I know for a fact that most of you listening to me here today have these concerns, not just due to the anxieties of graduation and the transition to the real world, but more generally, I would point to a recent poll which found that 81% of Americans believe the country is headed in the wrong direction. We all have these questions as we stand on the brink of a future we cannot know. And as we try to answer those questions about the future, I feel we cannot help but look at the past, not only to these last 4 years of college, but also to the years prior, when most of us were young adults. This piece of recent history, this decade or so, binds all of us together. It has invariably changed us and shaped our futures. Let me recall for you some of the major challenges and events that have dominated our recent collective memory: the dot-com bust, September 11th, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, the California energy crisis, USC losing to Texas in the 2006 Rose Bowl. It's tragedy. Unfortunately, these challenges are the major milestones of our collective experience. I believe that they have made us stronger. I also have no doubt that, at least in some small way, these challenges are a big part of why many of you are sitting here today. And you know, the purpose of this short exercise was not to cast a shadow on today's celebration, but rather to put the focus on what I believe has been the defining overtone of our young adult lives: a profound and enduring lack of public leadership. Now, this is in all parties and in both the public and the private sectors, and this is the first major point I would like to make, and I hope that you all keep it in mind as I continue, a profound and enduring lack of public leadership. And so here we are, at a unique point in time. Society is desperately looking for guidance, for someone to tell us who we are, to tell us what we need to do to make things better. Our beloved baby boomers are slowly moving on. Society is now inevitably looking at all of us. It is no wonder that we are being called the successor generation. So this begs the question, who are we? Who are we? Trojans. Names like Generation Y, the Echo Boomers, the Internet generation, and many more are being thrown around. And I have a feeling that those pundits do not really understand who we are, but we know who we are. A few of us vaguely remember, and I use that term generously, communism, the end of communism, the fall of the Berlin Wall, and the spread of democracy and capitalism like never before. We grew up as the most diverse generation of Americans in history, be it racially, ethnically, or religiously. We grew up in a digital world where multitasking is the norm. We grew up during the golden years of the 1990s. Optimism was in the air. And yet we most recently lived through the challenges that I mentioned at the outset of this speech. These challenges gave us cynicism, skepticism, realism, and pragmatism. Because of them, we constantly read between the lines and seek the unvarnished truth. This interesting dichotomy shapes us, defines us, and makes us unique. We believe in the brilliance of America and the world. We believe in the power of humanity because we have seen it and we have felt it. And yet we are also very cognizant of the obstacles that line the path back to those ideals. So who are we? Who are we? I see seated before me a group of incredibly talented and capable young professionals accustomed to diversity and complexity. A group of professionals who are lofty in their ideals and yet pragmatic in their approach. A group of professionals committed to public life and public leadership. And so today, at this very hour, at this very minute, there is a unique convergence of two important phenomena. One, a profound and enduring lack of public leadership, and two, an amazing group of new young professionals. I believe that this graduation ceremony is the harmonious reconciliation of those two forces. That is where we find ourselves today. Now, considering all that, I would like to exploit my remaining time up here today to do two vital things. Number one, I want to convey a message of hope. This is for the faculty, staff, friends, parents, and other distinguished guests, especially Mr. Hertzberg, gathered here today. As we all face a changing world and an uncertain future, I want to reassure you all that everything will be all right. You have together collaborated to produce the very best. Seated before you today are future mayors, governors, legislators, and perhaps even future presidents. Seated before you are the best city planners, urban designers, policy analysts, and policy practitioners. They are future corporate leaders and captains of industry. Number two, if my fellow students will allow me, I want to ask each and every one of you seated here to do one thing before you go off into the world. Do not forget who you are. Do not forget the challenges that have brought you here today. Do not forget the idealism of your college years. I cannot overstate the scale of your responsibility to yourselves, to each other, to everyone else here, to the country, and to the wider world. My fellow graduates, we are living at a special moment in history. I implore you to rise to the occasion. Thank you.
Matthias, thank you very, very much. Yesterday, we had an awards ceremony in which we honored those students who have achieved academic excellence. And I have to say, it was one of the best awards ceremony, if not the best, that we have had. The students were really outstanding, remarkable. Their range of projects and achievements, truly outstanding. And so I'm really pleased at this time. I'd like to have the award recipients who are here to please stand and let us recognize your special achievements. please stand? And now is the time to recognize the hard work in each and every one of the graduates. We will now call each student individually and hand out the diploma covers. Truth in advertisement. Your diplomas will be mailed in 4 to 6 weeks. Senior Associate Dean Elizabeth Grady and Professor Richard Sundin, will you please come to the podium at this time?
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning. Candidates, please stand.
Parth Shah. Michael Edward Whalen. Shane Alexander Gonzalez. Harut Chris Boyajan. Maniroth Chris Hang. Michael Robert Schreiber. Matthias Sweldo. Josefina Salvador. Maverick Harold Madison. Medea Abdullah. Hunter Summerson Kellett. Jessica Kendall Worthington. Margaret Oliver Weiss. Campbell Charles McDonald. Taylor Hanson Odegaard. Ashley Claire Howell. Demetrius Lamont Flagg. Quincy Thomas Baylor. Philip Yang. Manny Pai Wu. Anthony Kyle Roses. Christy Lynette Hickman Butcher. David Martinez. Kate Elizabeth Hoover. Xiao Han Sun. Ashley Sells. Tatiana Abigail Gallegos. Corday Summers. Jason William Town. Jason Michael Istrin. Jesus Eduardo Cuellar. Craig Allen Ganser. Henry Hernandez. Roberto Lopez. Whitney Gail Henson. Sebastian Elliott Salinas. Stephen Gaffori. Angelica Sanchez. Salar Roy. Laura Elizabeth McKee. Mariel Renee Peter. Milad Bushari. Weiss Sirkabi. Ara Makari. Bradley Thompson. Bree Valbuena. Reina Rangel. Allison Kristen Berry. Terrence John O'Brien. Mark Philip Keckling. Ryan Christopher Farias. Grant Richard Edgecombe. Ronald James Gary. Anthony J. Clark. Keith Rivers. Matthew Bryant Moscow. Ben Baumgarten. Whitney Kale Ortiz. James Andrew Killian. Matthew Zucker Anderson. Bronson Taylor Hovanian. Dylan Todd Burrows. PJ McNall. Andrew Kaiming Kwok. Whitney Taylor Redfield. Gregory Scott Takashita. Rodman Amiri. Megan Elizabeth Burrows. Mitchell Hernandez. Jeffrey Ryan Gabriel. Erin Michelle Voss. Kathleen Ann Ripley. Tyler Montgomery Rochelle. Patrick Colin Morgan. Raymond J. Juarez. Ermelinda Gomez. Nadia Soto. Eli Mitchell Mall. Katia Nissan. Gregory David Woolway. Kristen Virginia Lynn Cam. Shireen Chow. Jeffrey John Barron. Levon Maddie. Zarui Nexalian. Eric Yesaya. Nicole Farnoosh. Bobby Zapia. Brianne Brown Samford. James Orrin Wilkes. Vanessa Renee Gopal. Let's give everyone a huge round of applause for the graduating class of 2008.
Well, congratulations again, graduates. That's terrific. I would now like to invite Reggie Jones Sawyer to the podium. From a young age, Reggie Jones Sawyer exuded a strong passion for public service. His desire to make a difference for underserved communities brought him to SPPD, where he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in Public Affairs. Today, he seeks to improve the communities of Los Angeles as the city's Director of Asset Management. In this role, Reggie provides direction to senior-level administrators and real property management staff who are responsible for managing leases in 800 city-owned properties. In addition, Reggie also served as LA's Assistant Deputy Mayor from 1994 to 1998. During that time, he made policy recommendations and directed operations for the departments of City Planning, Building and Safety, Housing, Environmental Affairs, and Community Redevelopment Agency. Reggie is a tremendously talented individual and deeply committed to civic improvement. Indeed, we are very proud to have him as a member of our Alumni Association Board of Governors. Please join me in welcoming Reggie Jones Sawyer.
I know I'm the last speaker between a lot of you and a nice, cold root beer. Some of you I know will forget the root, but on behalf of Dean Knott, the Board of Trustees, the Board of Governors, and our President, Michelle Ingeman, I am here to congratulate the graduates in this major accomplishment in your lives and to officially, I mean officially, welcome you into the USC family. But first, I just wanted to, my daughter just went through her first year of college, and she got straight A's. So for the parents, out there, pray for me, because I got 3 more years to go. And I now know what you went through 1/4 of the way, and hopefully one day I'm standing here when my daughter graduates. But you, students, I want you to know that the Alumni Association thanks you. Ever since you've come into this university and Bob Hertzberg and other graduates will tell you, this university has been famous for a lot of things, but one of the things they haven't always been particularly famous for is academics. And it's this class, you have improved the academics so much at this university that guess what? People actually think we're smart. And if you look at yourselves, look where you are here. Parents, look out there. If you look at that space that's in between, it's kind of indicative of what your struggle has been. For every seat that's there, because I sit on the Board of Governors, I sit and look at applications of the hundreds of students who try to get in here. And it is a struggle to make it to these few seats here. And for every seat you see out here that's empty, there's probably 100 people who didn't have the GPA, couldn't afford to go here, and could not take the academic rigor that it takes to become a graduate to sit where you are. So I thank you on behalf of the alumni, and I'm also here to welcome you. This is also our pitch. Before you leave, there's a bag in the back at the alumni house that we have just for you. And in it is a lot of valuable information because we want you to stay connected. We want you to stay connected because being an SC Trojan has been a valuable point in my life. USC, the University of Serious Connections. You now have a worldwide connection to every USC graduate on the planet. Each USC graduate is successful in his or her own right. Each USC graduate is making a mark in this world, and now you must join us in blazing new trails and accomplishments. I will tell you, every successful point in my life has involved a Trojan. It was a Trojan who got me my first job. It was a Trojan who hired me for my first government job. It was a Trojan who hired me for my first internship. It was a Trojan who recommended me for my appointment as Assistant Deputy Mayor for the City of Los Angeles. It was a Trojan who helped me purchase my first home. It was a Trojan who cleared the way for me to become the Director of Real Estate for the second largest city in the United States. So I'm asking you to stay connected to this university. Now that you're a member of this family, you need to understand that it is lifelong and it's worldwide. And it does not stop on this campus. It's much further than this campus can reach. We encourage each of you to stay active with Old SC. This university gives back twice as much as you can give it. On behalf of Dean Knott, I also want you to stay active with the School of Policy, Planning, and Development, both with your time and, yes, your money. Exactly. What ultimately makes any university on this, what ultimately makes any school in this university great is their alumnus. And as we have great alumni, so it is imperative that you give back and give back as much as you can. I guarantee you that USC will always take care of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reggie. So will everyone please stand? To the faculty and staff, proud parents, relatives, and friends, I proudly present to you the School of Policy, Planning, and Development class of 2008. You may now move your tassels to the right side. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you all very much.